Okay guys, welcome to what is episode 2 of this video collection that I'm doing about my recent trip to Europe. And this is the voyage from the UK to France, and I'll just read some stuff about these white cliffs that you see. They're apparently, you can get some really good shots of them. I've seen some like maybe from a drone or a helicopter shot, flying past them. They look really cool, and the White Cliffs of Dover are cliffs that form part of the English coastline facing the Strait of Dover and France. It's about, it reaches up to 350 feet, and owes its striking facade to its composition of chalk, accentuated by streaks of black flint. They spread east and west from the town of Dover in the county of Kent, an ancient and still important English port. The cliffs have great symbolic value in Britain because they face towards continental Europe across the narrow west part of the English Channel, where invasions have historically threatened, and against which the cliffs form a symbolic guard, because crossing at Dover was the primary route to the continent before the advent of air travel. The white line of cliffs also formed the first and last sight of England for travellers. So it would have been the last sight that many soldiers would have seen leaving England for most of them, a lot of them, for the last time. And it's a very somber kind of feeling, and I was imagining that as I was taking my own journey across to France, and I was imagining just that feeling around. Imagine if this was in wartime, what it would be like, and it's pretty incredible, that kind of feeling that you would be having. And there's a lot of castles, one in particular up there on the cliffs. I didn't get to visit any castles, unfortunately, and that's kind of what I regret, but I really didn't have any time to do such things. And but you know, I'll have to do that if I ever go back there. It was a lot of people would watch from the cliffs aerial dogfights between German and British aircraft during the Battle of Britain. I've written down a lot of these places. We're in Paris now, by the way. And this was my first venture into Paris. And I was eager to get out and explore, but you know, after a day of travelling, even sitting in a coach for hours on end, you still feel really exhausted. You just want to get a good night's rest sometimes, and that certainly wasn't going to be the case on this trip. That centre that you just saw, it's called I have to say this right, Place de la Concorde, and the place with the Ferris wheel and the Egyptian-looking thing. It was given as a present to Napoleon, and I was told that in return, he gave them a clock. I am just going by what my tour guide told us, which I'm pretty sure is true most of the times, but you can't believe it 100%, and which I came to know pretty soon, pretty quickly. I love the layout of Paris. They say it's the city of love, and it certainly looks romantic, and it would be an amazing place to be for a long time if you had the money. Paris especially is really expensive. I didn't spend much at all. I was trying to conserve my money as well as I could. And we were there for 2 days, pretty much, in Paris. It was not enough at all. I really have to go back there, and this was kind of just like, with this whole trip, it was just like a taste testing kind of thing. That's what Kentucky is. You experience a lot, but in very small increments, and it's very rushed, but you get a sense of the places, and I got an okay perspective of Paris. There's so many buildings that I do not know the names of, and yeah, but there's so much history, and even I still have no idea. I just heard that Napoleon is Napoleon is a major part of Paris and France in general. I really haven't done my research into him, but a lot of his influence still holds over France. I would have really liked to have stayed at a nice hotel in Paris. That would have been really cool. I stayed in a budget Ibis hotel, and I guess you get what you paid for, which was, with this whole thing, it was like I think I spent $2.5 grand Australian. It's originally $3.5 grand, but we got $1,000 off because it was on discount, and for that $2.5 grand you get all your accommodation and most of your meals paid hotels are just like, some of them are good, but most of them is just like a buffet kind of thing. A lot of the meals you just have to buy yourself, and the hotels are really pretty shit, which is being nice. We'll get to that later, but we drove past the Louvre, and unfortunately I did not see any of it, which is another thing that I'll have to go back and see. I didn't see any of it because it was closed the day for some fucking stupid reason. Sorry, I'm going to be swearing quite a bit through these videos. I don't know. It was closed because they couldn't get off their asses. I don't know, I wouldn't have had time to go in there anyway. We had basically one day or a few hours to explore Paris. That's pretty insane. I missed out on the catacombs. I really would have liked to have explored that, but I didn't, and that's another thing that I have to go back and see. But what was I talking about? The hotels, they are very budget, and Kentucky really kind of skimps. I'm going to be saying a lot of negative things about Kentucky, but I think I'm entitled to, because I paid for it. I guess that they couldn't always afford the best hotels, but some of them were okay, but just having to shared accommodation, I've learned that I'm never ever going to do that ever again. Did I express the word ever enough? I can't do it, and after this experience, I am so grateful for my bed. It makes you appreciate your solitude, whatever you call it. It makes you appreciate being in your own bed, and just having the room, which is nice. Just being in your own room, that is so nice. I know I'm complaining a lot, but it's kind of like being in the military a bit. Probably not at all. But usually I had to. It was either rooms of 2 people or 4 people. When it was 4 people, it was absolute hell. There was no room at all. The floor was basically covered with suitcases, and snoring was impossible. You know, I really should be talking about Paris. I will in the next video, because that is more about me walking around and not being in a bus.